This is Barry Zalma speaking for Claim School Incorporated's newsletter, Zalma's Insurance Fraud Letter for September 1, 2023. This issue, number 17 of the 27th year of publication, provides multiple articles on how to deal with insurance fraud in the United States. The issue begins with Allstate's qui tam actions work to take the profit out of fraud, where in a man bites dog story, Allstate was allowed to sue on behalf of the state of California for insurance fraud. Allstate Insurance Company and several of its affiliates brought qui tam actions on behalf of the state of California, alleging insurance fraud under the California Insurance Frauds Prevention Act, the IFPA, starting at California Insurance Code Section 1871 and California Penal Code Section 550, as well as the Unfair Competition Law Business and Professions Code Section 17,000 exec against three medical corporations, a medical management company and its parent company, four physicians, and Sattar Mir, an individual. You can read the entire article and the entire newsletter at the link provided in the blog at zalma.com/blog. Then there are more about McClenny, Moseley Associates, where in ZIFL's 13th installment of the saga of McClenny, Moseley Associates and its problems with the federal courts in the state of Louisiana, and what appears to be an effort to profit from what some magistrates and district judges indicate may be criminal conduct to profit from insurance claims relating to hurricane damage to the public of the state of California. You can read the full article and the entire 20-page Zalma's Insurance Fraud Letter at the link at zalma.com/blog. Then there's an article on why bad men must serve the time for crimes from insurance fraud to murder, and that everyone should recognize that insurance fraud is, in fact, a violent crime. After a multiple-count indictment against dozens of members of the Gangster Disciples, 5 of them, Alonzo Walton, Kevin Clayton, Donald Glass, Ontarius Caldwell, and Vancito Gooms, appealed their convictions and sentences following a joint trial. Each raised several grounds for reversal, contending they were overcharged and oversentenced. Some argued that the RICO Act violated the Sixth Amendment because the jury failed to find that the conspiracy involved murder. The arguments failed, and you can read the entire article and the entire issue of ZIFL for September 1, 2023 at the blog at zalma.com/blog. Then you can read about good news from the Coalition Against Insurance Fraud, where multiple convictions for insurance fraud included one involving Edgar Perez, 51, of Miramar, Florida, the final defendant of a 12-person, $53 million health care fraud conspiracy, who was sentenced finally to federal prison. That sentence will be followed by 3 years of supervised release, and he was ordered to pay restitution of $547,000 for his participation in a healthcare fraud conspiracy that billed coalition member Blue Cross Blue Shield for more than $53 million for services including allergy tests and physical therapy that patients never received. The defendants opened multiple clinics throughout South Florida and paid recruiters to provide personal information for insurance beneficiaries. The defendants then submitted fraudulent bills to BCBS and received payments into clinic bank accounts before transferring them to personal accounts, making cash withdrawals and laundering money through various business individuals. You can read the full story at zalma.com/blog and the link in the blog. You can also read dozens of other fraud convictions reported on by the coalition. In addition, you can read about health insurance fraud convictions from the U.S. Attorney's Office, where, to begin with, 4 East Tennessee doctors were convicted in drug trafficking and a fraud scheme. Evan Harrell, Mark Granakowski, Kerry McFarland, and Stephen Cirilli were each physicians who worked for each EHC Medical in Harriman and Jacksonboro, Tennessee. Robert Taylor, who opened EHC Medical in 2013 and operated it through late 2018, pleaded guilty to drug trafficking conspiracy charge and was sentenced earlier this year to 30 months in prison. He forfeited $13.8 million and paid an additional fine of $200,000. Lori Barnett, a registered nurse who helped Taylor supervise the day-to-day operation, and 3 other physicians, Matthew Raspberry, Helen Bidwade, and Eva Misra, also pleaded guilty to related drug or money laundering charges and are awaiting sentences. You can read this full article at zalma.com/blog, as well as the entire insurance fraud letter, and you will find dozens more convictions in the full newsletter. Then you can read about other than health insurance fraud convictions, starting with an article about Mr. Murdaugh's friend who pled to more charges in helping steal insurance funds. Corey Fleming, a 54-year-old former attorney who was the friend of convicted murderer Alex Murdaugh, and his old college buddy, pleaded guilty to a second set of charges for helping the disgraced South Carolina attorney steal millions of dollars of insurance settlements from the sons of Murdaugh's dead housekeeper. You can read that full article, as well as many more other than health insurance fraud convictions, at zalma.com/blog, or the link on the blog posting. Then you can read about insurance fraud by insurers, an article indicating that insurance fraud is not limited to fraud by insureds against their insurers or claimants defrauding people who are insured. Much to the shame of the insurance industry, the reverse also happens, and you can read the entire article at zalma.com/blog, and the full link of the 20-page PDF version of Zalma's insurance fraud letter is available at the link in the blog posting. This video was adapted from my blog, Zalma on Insurance, which is available free to anyone who clicks on the URL zalma.com/blog. You can also subscribe to the newsletter, and you'll receive notice of each issue, usually 2 a year. And you can also view the videos at rumble.com and or youtube.com. And if you do, I'd appreciate it if you click on the like button at YouTube or the thumbs up button at rumble.com. And if you wish to learn more about insurance fraud, insurance claims, insurance law, please consider, for a very small fee, subscribing to my Substack publication or my locals community. Thank you for your attention.